What up, and welcome back to my channel. Yes, them notes getting longer and longer every time, you know. But today, we making some baked mac and cheese. You saw the thumbnail. You saw how fiery it looked. Let's get into this because I just had a taste for it. I was making something nice, and I just was like, you know, it was Sunday. You know, this past Sunday I made it. I was like, I ain't made one in a while, so let me throw one on there. You know, so I used 1 can of evaporated milk. That's the first mistake. I should have used 2. So I recommend getting 2 if you're making a full pan or you're making the full box of the elbow mac and cheese or the macaroni. I recommend getting 2 cans just because I ran out and I had to use the milk that I had in the house that wasn't evaporated milk, which still works because, you know, you can always add like, you know, milk, regular milk to your mac and cheese. You don't have to use evaporated milk, but I prefer to do that because I like how it comes out. Okay, now I did it a little differently also because I usually put the mac and cheese directly in the sauce, which I was doing a lot, and that's what I'm gonna do differently because how I do my stovetop mac and cheese now, that's exactly how I should have did this, but I was trying to, you know, always trying to be different, you know what I'm saying? But this still came out delicious, flavorful, and like it felt like Sunday. You know, I love a mac and cheese that feel like Sunday. You know, so I just added a half of a stick of cream cheese, like half of the regular, the small size, like the 8-ounce block, half a stick of that. And that's just going to provide creaminess, okay? Because we need this to cream up. We need that. We love that. It's mac and cheese. You want it to be creamy, dreamy, you know? Mac and cheeses, pastas, stuff like that, you know? We need that to be creamy. We need it to be dreamy. Or don't nobody want that? I mean, you know, maybe some people like dry pasta. That ain't happening over here. We don't do that. We're not doing that, okay? So at this point, I'm just mixing it up and letting the milk basically get warm before I add the cheese. Let it heat up a little bit, you know, get a little bubbly, you know, not too bubbly though. Don't boil it. We're not boiling. This on like a medium heat right now. A medium. You see that? Now we're gonna add cheese. When it got that film on it right there, now I'm about to add my cheese. Because it done heated up. You saw the smoke. When you start seeing smoke anyway, you can add the cheese. Now I shredded up PEPPERJACK cheese, double cheddar cheese, and sharp cheddar cheese. Now the double cheddar cheese was a half of a block because I shredded it up a half a block up from something else I needed just a little bit of cheese for. So all I added was that half a block of double cheddar cheese to this. So all that's in this mix is just the 1 can of evaporated milk, the half a stick of cream cheese, and a half a stick of double cheddar cheese shredded up. Everything was shredded, freshly grated. Okay. Now this is the aluminum this is the aluminum pan I'll be using. Okay. Now I heavily buttered it. I wanted to make it in this because I didn't feel like doing no dishes. You know, rightfully so. Like don't nobody just feel like doing dishes. I ain't got no dishwasher like other people yet. And you see, I said yet because I know it's coming. The house that I want, I see it. I'm gonna have it. Okay, so back to the recipe. So then I'm adding sour cream to the noodles. Okay, I added a few nice few scoops of this. Basically, add enough to add a little at a time. I didn't know precisely how much because y'all know I don't measure. I just eyeball. I feel sorry for the people that, you know what I'm saying, they be wanting precise measurements that you just be first starting out and all that. But you know, you season the taste. Start off, my recommendation coming from a non-measurer is to start off little. Start light, you know, start off with a little sprinkle. And because if you start light, you can have room to adjust to taste, you know, and you need that. You need to have room. I'd rather it be under seasoned and you got to add a little bit than to be overly seasoned and you can't do nothing to it. So that's all I'm doing right here. It's just adding the sour cream to the mac and cheese because it's just gonna provide extra creaminess, and I'm also gonna season it because that's what we gonna do. That's just the method I prefer to go with. I started with some black pepper, then I added some Creole seasoning, I added some garlic powder, and I added some all-purpose Greek seasoning. Those are the only 4 I used, okay? But if you look below in the description box, I will have them down below. You know, I usually have the ingredients down there. Ain't gonna be no precise measurements down there, but you're gonna definitely have your ingredients. And how I'm filming this, how I film these, this is like precise time. Like how you saw how much I put on there, that's how much I put in there. Sprinkle, my hand is heavy though, so if you will just start light. Just start light. Don't heavily season, just start with a little sprinkle of each seasoning, and then add what you think it need. The highest of the sodium of them all is the all-purpose Greek seasoning. So you ain't gotta add, add when you add other three, sprinkle that Greek seasoning in there first, and then then you can adjust after you mix it together, because you need to taste it before you put it in the oven. So like I said, all I added was that double cheddar cheese to that evaporated milk mix. So I just went ahead and put that in the elbow noodles. Okay, after I seasoned the noodles and I got them to where I wanted them. I didn't put no seasoning in the evaporated milk mix. I didn't put nothing in there, okay? Because I just was gonna wait until I just put it in with the elbow noodle, basically waiting until everything combined to one. Then I was gonna season, and all I did was use the same seasonings that I added already. Those 4 seasonings, I just rotated them. So keep them handy, keep them on the side. You might need to add a little bit, and if anything, all I did was add a little bit of the all-purpose Greek seasoning and some garlic powder. I didn't need too much more of the black pepper. I didn't need too much more of nothing else, for real. So now we're gonna add the rest of the shredded cheese. So I added all of the sharp cheddar. No, not all of it. I added half of the sharp cheddar, and then I crushed up some of the sandwich slices of chipotle cheddar I got from Aldi. I had maybe 3 or 4 slices left, and I just crushed that up. Because when it comes to making mac and cheese, I say go out and buy as much cheese as possible. Buy like 6 to 7 blocks, because you can never have too much cheese in general. And I always, for some reason, sometimes think small when I know my portions be big. So I recommend buying at least about 6, 7 blocks, just to be, even if you don't use them all, just have them on. You never know what you're gonna need some cheese for, So just keep them handy. So after I added the sharp cheddar and those sandwich slices of the chipotle cheddar cheese that, once again, I got from Aldi. Okay, I don't know if your Aldi got it, but just look over there. They got a lot of cheese. They got a lot of good cheese at Aldi too. I'm gonna start getting into they gourmet and the fancy ones for real. I'm gonna get into that. So then right now I'm just seasoning. At this point we just seasoning, and like I said, all I needed was 1 more can of evaporated milk, because I wanted this to be more creamy than this. I didn't want it to dry out, because right there, that's not enough creaminess. So at this point, I'm just adjusting what's going on. So I'm adding more milk, tasting the noodles, tasting the mac and cheese, I added the pepperjack cheese to this too. So I added all the pepperjack to this, half of the sharp cheddar, some of that chipotle cheddar, and then I'm gonna top it with, and I should have just waited and topped it with all of the sharp cheddar, but once again, that's why I said buy as much cheese as possible, because I ran out of sharp cheddar. So I topped the mac and cheese once I got it adjusted and creamy from adding the milk, the seasonings, and all that. I topped it with the sharp cheddar, and I had some other sandwich slices. I had MUENSTER cheese, and I just filled the blanks in with that, because at the end of the day, I do what it do. I ain't no chef. I ain't no professional. I never said I was. Chef ain't even in my bio, I don't say that. I ain't go to school for this. I just do what I do for me and mine. We gotta eat. And one thing we gonna do is eat good. Okay? Whether it's eating out or eating in, we gonna eat good. And it's gonna be great. So, I do what I do when I can make it do what it do. With minimal ingredients or a lot, I can do what I can. So this is how it looked before I put it in the oven. I put it on 385 until the top was crispy like this. So I say after 20 minutes, it wasn't crispy enough for me. So I say 20 to 30. After 20 minutes, check it. If it don't look like this, put it in a little longer. Just keep checking it until you get that crispy top. Okay. And of course, I had to get into that thing. I had to get into it. This was so good, y'all. This was so good. It's going to take me another minute before I make another one, but I'm going to do some things differently. But this one was still one of them ones, better than expected. Better. It looked great, though. Look at this. It was phenomenal. I don't even know what I'm saying. Stop. Yeah. Make it. Try it. Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, do everything. Follow my Insta. Follow my YouTube. We trying to run it up. I'm so close to 10K on Instagram. I know we can do it on here. Follow, subscribe. Come on, y'all. I'm gonna have the pictures at the end. Let's do this. Run it up. 10K. I'm on the way. You see that? Almost there. We just gotta get this one up right here. Let's do it. Let's run this up. Okay?